right. Good evening, everybody. This is this week's Thursday edition of our Facebook Live. I'm going to wait for a few people to join us before we get started. As you know, this week's episode is going to be about our Meet the Team. And we started this a few weeks ago so you all can know who our wonderful staff is. And on today's episode, you're going to get to have the privilege and the honor to meet Miss Safat Mata. And she's going to tell us all about her, 2 decades of experience in immigration law, her passions, and, maybe some tips for everybody. And, feel free to ask her some questions as well. Before I have Safat come on, we are going to go ahead and start, as we always do, with some good news. So for Orlando, Central Florida, very good news. Disney, Universal, SeaWorld are going to be opening up in the next 6 to 8 weeks. On this Monday, June 1st, for small businesses in Orange County and Seminole County, these counties are giving out grants for small businesses. So in Orange County, for example, if you have less than 25 employees, you may be eligible for a $10,000 grant. So make sure you look for these details. And then finally, at the end of today's segment, I'm going to share with you all the good news for Orlando USCIS and those who have pending citizenship applications, and that these are getting back on track. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on today's guest, who is my friend and teammate here, Safat Mata. Everybody, please welcome Safat.
Hello.
So as I mentioned, this is our Meet the Team series. And so we're going to do just that. You all deserve to know who our wonderful team is, and they work so hard on everybody's cases. And some background information on Safat: she has been an immigration paralegal for 22 years. I joke and I say that's my age. I wish, but she has an incredible amount of experience, and she joined our firm last year, August. And I know that I am thankful that she's here and she's an asset. We have a couple of questions. There's Bridget Bennett, an attorney friend of mine, saying hello. Hola, Bridget. Always good to see you. And now, Safat, welcome. Tell us about Safat Mata. Who are the mystery, the legend? Tell us a little bit about yourself that you want to share with everybody today.
Well, good evening. Thank you for having me today. I do really appreciate it. I was born and raised in Kuwait. I immigrated to the United States in 1994. I worked as a travel agent for the first 4 years. And myself, I went to an immigration attorney to help me to adjust my status. And I was hired by this attorney who fixed my papers. His name is Joseph Chella. I was very lucky, actually, very fortunate to work for him. He taught me all the ABCs of immigration law. I know he's watching.
Yeah, there's nothing like your first teacher or mentor. I know that they always stay with us forever, and it's really amazing when you have a good one and you're always appreciative even all these years later. So yeah, he definitely deserves the shout out on that.
Yes. In 1998, I started working for an immigration law firm, and since then.
So you went in for a consultation, and then he started to work on your case, and then he hired you. I think I've actually done that with maybe 2 clients who have become employees. So I understand, sometimes as an attorney, you recognize talent or people who are organized. And what did you think when he offered you the job to start working with him?
Well, you have, in 1998, paralegals who can speak both languages, Arabic and English, is so little. They are handful. This was in New Jersey. Now, they are all, you will find somebody who speaks both languages, but back in the day, Lamina.
Where in New Jersey were you located?
Actually, we were in Little Falls. Our office was in Little Falls, but I was living in, I resided in Patterson, New Jersey.
So for those who don't know, Patterson, New Jersey is this great Middle Eastern enclave, Palestinian, Lebanese, a lot of backgrounds. You can see signs in Arabic and delicious restaurants and lounges. So there's even a sweet place called the Naif Sweets. So everybody knows Patterson. So I'm understanding that, Safat was definitely going to be an asset for this attorney where there's this huge population of Middle Eastern people. Safat, so how long did you work in New Jersey before you made it to Florida?
I lived in New Jersey for 10 years, but I worked in the immigration field for about 4 years.
Okay. And I'm sorry, did you say what your ethnicity was? I know where you're from. It's Palestinian. So nice for me to have another Palestinian in the office. And there's some cultural things, and especially just relating to a lot of our clients. Believe it or not, we didn't have another Arabic speaker in the office besides me until Safat joined the team. A lot of our clients, the majority are Latino, and we do have a huge amount of Middle Eastern clients as well. So it's great to have Safat here. Safat, we do have a comment from Lena. She says, Safat was my teacher, and she is awesome.
I love you, Lena. She was one of my coworkers, actually.
Yeah, so Lena, thank you for your comment, and I don't disagree with you. Safat is great. Safat, do you have a favorite type of case to work on in immigration? So there's not just one form, guys who are watching for immigration. There's so many visas out there and different processes, and depending on where you are located also changes the process and the intricacies with every case. As I mentioned, we did post today that Safat will be on, and we have just received so much feedback about her professionalism and knowledge. And I think this is not a client, but a very good, close fan here, and Nilan proud of her mom, as she should be. So Safat, do you have a particular type of case that you enjoy to work on, or do you have a favorite immigration case to be a paralegal to?
Actually, I have 2 cases that I would love to be assigned to me. The first one is the VAWA cases. And can you explain what is VAWA about?
Yeah. So for VAWA, that is Violence Against Women's Act. Okay, first, before I get into that, these birthday decorations are normally not here. We've left them from our celebration after Eid and my birthday this week. But yes, VAWA is Violence Against Women's Act. But this is not just for women. These are all for victims of domestic violence at the hands of U.S. citizens or legal permanent residents who, unfortunately, too often enough, are victims of domestic violence, abuse, physical or emotional, by their U.S. citizens. And these cases take an incredible amount of evidence and time and hours, or even though we charge on these cases, we never really can get our total worth of time we spend because of how intricate the details are. We sit with our clients and their statements, we go through it. And for a lot of our clients, it's such a traumatic, heavy process for them where they don't want to revisit this abuse. They don't want to talk about this abuse. So Safat, such a heavy visa, such a heavy process. Why would you say that this is perhaps one of your favorite cases to work on?
Maybe what I like about these cases that I really do put my heart in all my cases. But when it comes to VAWA, it was one of the first cases that I worked on in 1998. And I won it, and it was actually for a man, for a guy. And I put all my heart on these cases, and it makes me really happy to see the client at the end of the process happy. We start with them very weak. The client is very weak, very vulnerable, coming from an abusive relationship. They don't see the light, but with us actually helping them, trying, trying to actually يعني يفكوا قيودهم. بدي احكيها بالعربي مش قادره. يعني بكسروا, they break everything around them وخلص, so they will get it without the help of the abuser. I'm sorry.
No, so Safa's absolutely right. So we see these people come to us and they have no belief that they can do something without the abuser. They're terrified even telling us their stories, and they think that there's little hope that they actually have a chance. So this transition, or really a transformation we see with our clients, is really special, where you see them who are, you know, they're damaged, they're hurt, and then at the end of the case, not only are they legally independent, but they're independent in so many other ways, because we work with them in making sure that they get counseling and making sure they go and work on their own cases and take responsibility and start to better themselves. So we are, I agree 100%. The transformation of our clients in these VAWA cases are incredible. And if anybody believes that they are being manipulated or a victim of domestic abuse, please seek help. We did a video a few weeks ago about all the different hotlines that are available. You can message us at any time. Now, for Safat did speak in Arabic a couple times. We are going to do an Arabic live once a month. And it's going, we did one last week and it was incredibly successful. So if you want your questions for the next live in Arabic to be addressed, please email us ahead of time. And then I am going to go ahead and ask for you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we post constant updates on the changes in the law for immigration and for personal injury. We also have a monthly newsletter. If you want to be added to that, we send updates every June 1st. And again, the Arabic is a third Thursday of every month. We will eventually start to do it in Spanish as well. But before we continue to talk about work, let's get back to our lady of the hour, Safa. So what would you say is the most difficult thing? We said, what's the best thing? Is seeing them transition. What is sometimes the hardest thing when you're dealing with these VAWA, these delicate cases, and you have to, you know, a lot of times it's not me, it's you telling them, hey, this letter is not good enough for the attorney. What else? We need more from you.
I think with the VAWA cases, it's really difficult to try to get them. 50% of these cases is the story. What happened? For somebody who've been abused, maybe mentally, physically, emotionally, it's really difficult to get them to write what happened. The declaration or the statements that goes back and forth between me, the attorney, the client. Sometimes it takes a couple of months to get it ready, because they are very, you know, the embarrassment, the feeling that I shouldn't. They are still under the one who is in an abusive relationship, even though she's out of it or he's out of this relationship and forever. They still feel that they cannot say everything. They cannot come out because they were actually isolated. This person was isolated. Most of the cases, the victim is isolated and cannot share what's going on and at home with others. So they keep it for themselves. It's really difficult to get these events or what happened or how she feels or he felt at the time on papers. It takes, and gathering evidence is very difficult, because with these cases, usually the abuser deprive the victim from any communication outside.
So the pattern for most abusers is isolation and to take away a lot of tools that are available for these people. So what Safat's saying is that they don't believe that they can do it, and it's very hard for them to even share their story, because for a lot of them it is some kind of embarrassment or humility to it. So, you know, that is time. But with time, our clients open up to us, and I know that with her experience, and I see her passion, you guys, half the time I tell Safa, I say, why are you talking to the client? It's been an hour and a half. She's like, oh, she's crying, she's upset, right? So it's a matter of building that trust. And then a lot of times in our jobs, we are, counselors or friends for these clients who need someone to encourage them. So I do want to take this time to thank Safa for her dedication, to this. We've worked all day, and now we're here with you outside of office hours to share some of Safa's insight. And I'm going to go ahead and share some more comments here. Samir says, Safa is great. We worked with her before. She loves to help. You have a proud of you, Khalto. And then my dad says, God bless you and your team. We have Nidal Abu Alia. She's great. So as I mentioned, that Safa is very popular, and I think she's deserving of the recognition and dedication to her work that she does. Safa, if somebody is going to want to get into the immigration law field, or as a paralegal, or even maybe one day become an attorney, what advice do you have for somebody who's not familiar with our practice?
Okay. First of all, if your own belief or opinion will affect your work, you shouldn't be in this field. If you are looking for a job from 9 to 5, you shouldn't be in here. As paralegals or immigration attorneys, we come across a lot of different ethnics, religions, beliefs. If you cannot represent this individual to the max, 100%, put your feelings on the side, focus on what this individual needs, you cannot be in this field. If your emotions, your personal opinion, you feel that you don't accept the other person, the other individual, the other belief, the other thought, then you shouldn't be in this field. You have, I think, especially, I'm so passionate about immigration. With immigration, you have to put your 100%, you have to put your heart. If you cannot do that, stay away.
And it takes patience, right? So a lot of our clients are going through some of the most traumatic moments in their lives, right? Or stressful moments. Their whole future is relying on this. So if you can't accept the responsibility or the gravity of their stress, a lot of times it might not be in the right area for you. So I think for anybody who's interested in starting in this field, definitely maybe seek an internship, see whether or not this is right for you. When we had Kelly, who works on our car accidents and our personal injury cases, she's an immigrant herself, and she went through the process, and she said because of that, she doesn't want to work in immigration, right? So you need to be able to be exposed constantly to, sometimes some bad things, and a lot of times it's not. Like, we do a lot of investor and employment cases. I know when Safa started, she was a little slightly surprised about how many investor visas that we did, because immigration has such a big array of the type of people you represent. And I'm happy that in our office we have paralegals and assistants and lawyers who are being exposed to all the different avenues available for immigration. We did have, I think I'm going to show this one, another one. Hey Teta, Salah and Alia. Is that?
Salah, yeah, my grandkids.
What it is about grandkids that they send their grandparents through the moon. I've never seen her smile like that unless you mention her grandkids. So we do work very closely here and on a lot of our cases as a family. I think that, Safa, she adapted very quickly to our office, and she knows why we do a couple of things. So Safa, what do you say is one of your favorite things to do outside of work when you're not immigration, or if I'm not texting you, or you're not doing other million things? What is something fun that you do for yourself on a personal level?
One-on-one with my grandkids.
again with the grandkids. There's this is way to every grandparent's heart. Alech alikumiyah, inshallah, and I hope that you continue to do that. So what about our office? What is your favorite thing about our office?
Our office, I think it's the family atmosphere that we have here. We all look after each other. I feel the teamwork. It's like a chain.
Yeah.
It starts from the receptionist and it ends up by you, and it's really nice. And it goes back to the receptionist again. It's really nice.
There was some, I think adjustments for when Safat first started. I think maybe found there was a lot of rules, but I think now they've kind of make sense, and everybody can easily know what the client's needs are. So we have weekly meetings. Just like we start our Facebook Live, we want something good news. I always tell them, tell me something good, because as a family, we need to know what's going on in each other's lives to help you and help ourselves be in a healthy environment. So, Safat, is there anything else that you want to add, or any other area that is your favorite besides VAWA of law that you worked with?
I love everything about immigration, but I think my heart goes to the removal case.
Okay. So removal proceedings is like the court cases, right? This is deportation. This is when you're as a judge and there's witnesses, and these cases require a lot of paperwork. I mean, we submit submissions like this big, 3 times that amount for judges. So in removal proceedings, it does require heavy documentation, and the paralegals, they know what the requirements are set from the attorney, and they make sure that we are proving, for example, in some cases, if you have to prove 10 years presence, we're going to prove every year. So, sometimes I would say Safat might make some clients frustrated. They're like, oh, she keeps asking me for more documents. Why is she asking me for 6 months pay stubs? Well, we're asking you because we want to make sure we are putting the best case forward for you. And it's not us, saying that we're not going to file until this, but we're just trying to really, even until the last day before filing, we all look at it again and say, is there anything else we can add to this case to make it better? And I know Safat's always going the extra mile. So Safat, I do want to say thank you, and I'm proud to work with you and to have you here. And to always going above and beyond for your clients. I know that I appreciate you, and so does the team and your experience. And we always bounce each other, ideas off of one another. And if we have an Arab event or sponsorship, she's always telling me, can we sponsor? Can we go? Or can I go? So we are here for our community. We are here for our clients. And unless anybody has any questions for immigration, then we will probably see you guys next week. Safat, thank you for staying late. For everybody else who joined us, thank you for the comments. Let's go through them. Zain is the best I've ever met. She's an amazing person all around. Oh, you guys are friends with your mom. I'm not gonna. Where's Andrea Roa says, hey, we're here. Vesna, nice to see you guys. So yes, Naima says she's so proud of you, Safat, here. So, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that she's loved, and I understand why. And thank you, Naima, Zain, Andrea, Vesna, everybody for their comments. We will be here next Thursday. We're doing these Facebook Live, so if you have any comments or topics you want us to discuss, please let us know. Really important point. Today, I was in communication with the USCIS supervisor in Orlando. And starting June 1st, they are going to start contacting people whose citizenship ceremonies were canceled due to Corona. So if you are getting calls from a 407 number and you had an oath ceremony canceled, they are going to start calling people on Monday to reschedule. So please pick up your phones. Orlando is reopening USCIS, and they're going to spend a good amount of the first 2 weeks with oath ceremonies almost every single day to get everybody caught up. So that is great news for those who were at the finish line and then told to pause because of the Corona. We are going to hopefully have new citizens very shortly here. here, any estimate when embassies are open? Unfortunately not. We don't have any update on that yet. So we are working, and we'll promise to update you guys constantly once we hear something. So please make sure you send us your email. We send the monthly newsletter. So for example, Monday is June 1st. We're going to send a newsletter. You're going to see the tips and all the changes that have happened in the last month and what's happening. We also do a case of the month. So if you're a former client and you want your case featured, we're happy to do that. If you have a new business or something that you want us to announce and you're our client, I'm happy to support you guys as well. So please send us your emails, look for the newsletter, subscribe on Facebook and YouTube, and let's thank Safat one more time. Safat, great job. I don't know why she was nervous. She did wonderful. So Safat, thank you guys, and thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.